Hello, my little Grim Reapers. Nothing is certain in life except death and taxes, and that also happens to be what we are reviewing today. Death and Taxes is a game that comes to us from developer and publisher Placeholder Gameworks. It is a 2D narrative-based game, almost a visual novel, in which your choices don't just impact the outcome of the game, they also impact the fate of humanity itself. In Death and Taxes, you play as a Grim Reaper who works in an office. He is tasked with deciding who lives and who dies on the Earth. You are strictly dealing with humans here. Apparently there's a different department for the plants and non-living things, but we don't get to see that too much. So at your very mundane looking desk, you get a stack of papers each day where you have to decide who lives and who dies, and then fax those results in to your boss, if you will. At the end of each day, you go up to your boss and have a performance review, and then you basically just go to bed and do it all again. In between all of that, there are some options to customize your Grim Reaper with some pretty cool clothes and skulls, and you can also purchase items that can either be used at your desk or to accessorize your character from a rather bizarre skeleton pirate man who lives in the basement. Death and Taxes has a really neat watercolor look to the graphics. Obviously, there's not a whole lot of animation going on here, with this being in the visual novel style genre of games, but the dramatic art style does suit the characters and their rather macabre personalities. The highlight of this game for me is the sense of humor that shines through almost everywhere. The customization screen where you have to have a long, hard look at yourself in the mirror just cracks me up. The gentleman in the basement, the pirate man, he has a story for every item you purchase, and I lolled almost every time. And just the little knickknacks that you have on your desk that so perfectly mimic what I have at my desk at work. It's just very amusing. Even though not all of the voice acting was in the review build of this game that we received, I thought the humor really shone through, even in just the simple dialogue that was there. Another highlight in this game for me is the original soundtrack. There aren't a whole lot of songs in this game, but the ones that are there are fantastic, particularly that elevator song. Love that. It's got a jazzy vibe to it that sounded a bit like, dare I say, elevator music. But aside from that, the songs were really catchy, mostly piano-based, right up my alley, really fun. While it could very easily get tedious doing the same mundane activity day in and day out in this game, it doesn't get repetitive. And that's because there is such unique dialogue in between scenes that it keeps you playing. It is really good at mimicking office life, which is something that many of us have to suffer through. And there is some really good replayability here because there are multiple endings, and whatever ending you get, you're definitely going to want to see some of the other options. Overall, Death and Taxes, not as bad as it sounds. In fact, really fun. This game is perfect for anyone who, like me, has a fairly dark sense of humor. It's also great for anyone who's a fan of visual novels, in that there's not a whole lot of gameplay here other than clicking and making choices. It also harkens me back to games like Grim Fandango with its stylistic choices. Death and Taxes will be available on Steam as of February 20th, and if you're like me, you should be dying to play this game. For more information on Death and Taxes and any of the other games that we've played, check us out at MediaMoogle.net, and if you've enjoyed our video content, please subscribe at youtube.com/MediaMoogle. Thanks for watching!